Let's talk about aha moments for cryptocurrency. I am a big fan of cryptocurrency, and I want to actually say that cryptocurrency really is an application, if you will, that sits on top of blockchain. And you're going to see a lot of stuff about blockchain over the next several years and decades, as an example. So think about email sits on top of the internet, right? But so does Netflix. So does surfing the web. There are other things that you can do on the internet. So email is just one app kind of that sits on the internet. Well, cryptocurrency is one app that sits on top of the blockchain. And tonight's conversation is cryptocurrency. So we're going to have two aha moments today, maybe some little mini aha moments. I love aha moments. I think it's ideas worth spreading, and I'm really excited to talk to you about it tonight. So let's fast forward here just a little bit. We're going to have two aha moments. One of them for me, these are my aha moments, by the way, too. So I hope I can share them with you. Hope they'll be aha moments for you. One of them is this idea of the acceptance of new. It is amazing to me how long things take to become accepted. You know, a lot of us are kind of in an ADHD world. I want to download it now. I want to get this now. My kids say they want it now, right? And it didn't used to be that way 30, 40 years ago, 50 years, maybe not as much, it seems to me. But the acceptance of new still takes a while to happen. And the second thing we're going to look at is the cryptocurrency future. What is the cryptocurrency future? What's going to actually happen? Who knows, right? Well, I have an opinion that I'm going to share with you. It has some extremely large numbers in there. So everybody put on your numbers hats for a minute. If you say, I'm not good with numbers, just say this: I'm going to pretend I am good with numbers for the next 12 minutes, okay? And if you are good with numbers, you're going to love this. This is pretty cool. I love numbers. But let's talk about this stuff just for a second. These are not the big numbers yet, by the way. They're coming, okay? So in the 1970s, email was invented. And I mean the email where you have a little @ symbol that we all use today, your name at somewhere.com or something like that. I'm sure there was a way to send data some other way, a message of some sort electronically. But officially, the 1970s is approximately when email was invented. Also, you can see, maybe you remember one of these movies for some of us, You've Got Mail was a movie, actually, right? And actually, there was a company still around, called AOL, right? And AOL actually had that little saying, right? You've got mail. And it was a voice thing you heard from your computer, right? And so it's in the movie, and it's kind of surreal because at that time, in 1998, it was getting kind of ubiquitous that maybe this email thing might catch on. Isn't that kind of funny to think? Maybe this email thing might catch on. Seriously, that's really that's neat to me. That's sort of an aha moment, Especially for the millennials, right? Millennials are like, what? Was it even a consideration? Did somebody vote against it? And so, of course. So if you look here, you can see that shortly after the movie in 2000, there were approximately 12 billion emails sent every day. That seems like a lot until 9 years later. 9 years later, it was kind of ubiquitous. Boom, 247 emails sent every day, or billion, sent every day. And then kind of a neat thing, there's a prediction here with a little asterisk beside it. It says, in 2021, we're going to continue to march along, and it'll be 316 billion. Oh, that's an improvement. But obviously the 12 to 247, doesn't that seem like hyper growth? Okay. The aha moment about email here is that, hey, let's say it came out to some degree in 1979, and let's say that in 2009, it really was, hey, we're all using email. Okay? That's 30 years. So the one key number for the next minute or two to remember is 30 years. Okay? Let's take a look at one more. Here's something I bet most of you do. Texting. Texting is now the #1 most used app in the world, period. More than email. It's the #1 used app, period. And it's pretty neat. Texting, the cell phone was invented in 1973 by Motorola. Texting, the first text was actually sent, though, in 1992. And the first text, if you can see it there, the very first text, by the way, which I think is kind of cool. If you didn't know this, a little trivia, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas was sent in 1992. And I really think it's kind of interesting to see the number of texts per user per month. And again, I pick on the millennials a little bit here just for fun. What? 0.4 grandma, mom, 0.4 texts per month. How do you even do 0.4 texts per month, mom? So, that's an average, right? So in 1995, a few years after it was invented, it just wasn't used that much, was it? So 0.4. In 2000, it had dramatic increase, right? Going from 0.4 to 4 would be 10 times. And this went to 35. Let's call it 40 just as an example. That'd be another 10 times. So from 1995 to 2000, it went up almost 100 times in popularity. Isn't that pretty interesting? And then guess what? 35 is one number, but now I think we may have a problem. Look at the final one there. Look at the final one. Goodness gracious. 2,819 texts per month per user. Some people are laughing, smiling. I can see some people who are guilty. I see some guilt. See the guilt right over here in the room. There's guilt. I might get 500 or 1,000, but I'm like, golly, how does the average 2,819? That's a lot. But anyway, hey, now you can see why it's the most used thing of all internet services. Okay, what's the second little micro aha moment here? You know what? It didn't happen overnight. It was invented. It was a good idea. It really wasn't that hard. You didn't have to spend $1,000 to buy a license. It came on your phone. But we just didn't start using it. It took 24 years before it was the acceptance of something new that the rest of us said, I'm gonna give it a shot. I think I'm gonna try this thing. And somebody texted me. My mother, as an example, was probably one of the last ones to be in the statistic here. And when she figured, and she's like, I don't want to use this stuff. I don't want to use it. I don't want to use it. When she finally started using it, she went, wow, what a great way, like we all have, right, to keep up with my kids and grandkids and everything else. So that's kind of cool. But 24. So what was the first number? 30. What's years, right? What's the second number? 24 years. All right, so now remember 24 years, 24 years. Let's talk about cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a baby. It's a little baby because here's what happened. In 2008, it was invented, right? And it was actually invented on Halloween of 2008. It was a paper published, and the first Bitcoin transaction actually happened January 3rd of 2009. So we haven't even reached the 10-year anniversary yet. It is coming up. We just have a few weeks, right? We have like 6 weeks. It will be the 10-year anniversary of somebody sending Bitcoin from one person to another person. But didn't we just show 30 years? We showed 30 years. And then we showed 24 years for these other technologies to kind of take over. And we're not even at 10 yet with cryptocurrency. To me, that's an aha moment. Really? Oh, okay. So should we expect magical things? Well, did we expect magical things of email and texting? Nobody really, kind of. My mom surely didn't use it, I can tell you that. And so, at that point, it's still a baby, okay? Well, here's something neat, though. So Bitcoin came out in 2008. 2,000 other cryptocurrencies have come out since that date. Many of them straight copies of the code because it's open source code for Bitcoin. So many of them are just a straight copy, and they modified something and said, here's my cryptocurrency. And so there was a lot of these things. Let me back up just a second. There's a lot of cryptocurrencies that, maybe not really much. They may not have a market cap value of maybe less than $1 million, aka they're not really of much value. They're experiments or something like that. So the bottom 1,000 coins probably just are listed, but they're not, not a lot going on. But the top few are the majority of the market cap. So let's take a look. Market capitalization, what does that mean? That's how much is all the stuff worth? What's the market cap of a stock or something? How much is all of this coin, how much are all the coins worth combined? This is not Bitcoin, by the way. This is all coins, all 2,000 plus cryptocurrencies. What are they worth? Well, the market cap in 2013 of all cryptocurrencies known to mankind was $1.5 billion. And then 3 years later, what did it do? 10 times larger, more than 10 times larger, kind of like email. Remember the email and the texting? Hey, it's 10 times or 100 times or 10 times utilization. So in this case, putting more money into it means there's more users using it, as an example. So 1.5 billion, this one's 17 billion. And then what happened? Did it go up another 10 times? Looks like it did. But a lot of people, you read the news, say, wait a minute, we just went down 70% from the high. Did you guys know that? The high for Bitcoin. The high for Bitcoin in last year went from $800 in January 1 of last year, 2017. That's what it was on January 1, 800 bucks. Below the price of gold. Gold was $1,200 a coin. And it went crazy. It went up to $20,000. Okay? Then it settled back down at $13,000. And now it's around $6,500. So at today's current price of 70% less, it's about 100 times larger than it was in 2013. Think about that. Oh, it's down 70%. Not really, it's up 100 times. Is that an aha moment? Does it look like some of the other graphs or the other number? Think about it. Oh my gosh. So guess what? An aha moment for me is, well, let's use the 30 years or the 24 years or 5 years, but you know what? Let's use 24 years. If we take 24 years for a new technology to matriculate through the system and for the developers to change and some of the other stuff to change, then my math, and this is just David's math here, take 2008, add 24 years, 2032. So, a lot of and aha. I love to do these. Aha, what's going on? So what might happen in 2032? Remember I told you the big numbers are coming? These could be the big numbers. What might happen? Let's look a little bit deeper. Now this is kind of fun. Some little graphs here. If you can see that little gold square, it says cryptocurrency, and underneath that little is a little gold square. That represents the value of all Bitcoin on Earth approximately right now. That little square is $100 billion worth of stuff called Bitcoin. And then all the company valuations below, the silver's above, that's really little. Then the biggest companies in the world, each one of those blocks is $100 billion. So you can see like Apple in the middle is maybe $850 billion. This is a 2017 slide. I believe they exceeded $1 trillion. Remember how they went to $1 trillion? Probably heard about that. So, but at this time of this slide, maybe a year ago, they were 800 and some odd billion dollars because there's 8 blocks there. So that makes sense. Kind of cool. Well, let's look at a few other things. Now here's some neat aha moments just about us, humans, and our life. And it's kind of neat. This is the value of all the gold on Earth. $7.7 trillion. Remember the whole Bitcoin and all the currencies combined was 200 billion. So I'm going to say something to you. Bigger numbers now. All the cryptocurrency on Earth today, right now, is worth about $0.2 trillion. 0.2. All the gold is 7.7 trillion. So there's a lot more gold than those other 2,000 cryptocurrencies combined. Let's keep going. Here's all the stock. All the stock you own, I own, everybody own. Guess what? $73 trillion on the whole world. This is what all the stock is worth in the whole world, 73 trillion. Here's what all the money is. Every bit of money in your wallet, my wallet, everybody's wallet, all around the world. Our savings accounts, bank accounts, $90 trillion. It's kind of neat. I just didn't know this stuff. I'm a statistics nut, and I did not know these things. I want to figure this out. And sure enough, there you go. Here's one. Debt. Here's all the debt in the world. $215 trillion. These are big numbers, big numbers. But let's keep going, because one thing about debt, by the way, well, debt's not cash, debt's not currency, is it? Well, if I take a Visa card and I go buy a drink right back there in the bar, does he give me the drink? Did I pay for it? What did I pay for it with? Debt. It is cash, okay? So that's cash, really. That is also currency, if you think about it. All right, now real estate, you're not buying stuff with drinks with real estate probably, but its value, if people look at their wealth managers and they talk to the wealth manager and they own something, the wealth manager puts the value of the real estate next to their stocks and the other things that says this is your net worth, right? So there's value there too. That's 217 trillion. Okay, that's the last one. That's a lot of squares. Is that a lot of squares? Remember, Bitcoin's one of those squares, one square. So if you add up all the squares together, it's a big number. Here it is. He's getting ready to write it down. Boom. There's the number. That's all. The global value of what mankind considers something they would buy something with or say their net worth is worth. And by the way, this is excluding derivatives. Derivatives is a really complicated thing that is also another value that banks trade between each other, and it's actually value. And I hate to tell you that the derivatives market is actually larger than all things known to mankind. The derivatives market is more than $600 trillion. And that's kind of scary because none of us, including me, really understand how it really, really works. But I skipped that. I said, I'm just going to throw out $600 trillion in this little TEDx. We'll just throw away $600 trillion. Because the point of my example, the point of my aha moment is throw away half the value of Earth. Let's use the other half of the value of Earth that we understand, that most of us understand, and it's $600 trillion. And then all of the global cryptocurrencies in the world are right there, 210 billion as of this morning. So guess what? Cryptocurrencies are worth 0.03% of everything on Earth, excluding derivatives. Wow, big numbers, aha moment. I had no idea. Maybe I thought it was 1% or 5% or 0.001%, I don't know, but it's 0.03. Well, let's do a what if. What if cryptocurrency was worth 1%? We saw how email took off. We saw how texting took off. I think stuff like Netflix has taken off. I love Netflix. It's awesome, right? There's all this stuff taken off. Why wouldn't people, especially people in other countries, by the way? Like, as an example, many of you have probably used Venmo. Many of you have probably used Square Cash. Many of you have probably used PayPal. There are over 200 countries in the world. Do you know how many of those countries all three of those tools work in? One. You're sitting in it. So if you're in another country and you'd like to use an app to send something of value to another person, it's not available. Those tools are not available. So we kind of go, oh, well, I'm just going to use, whatever, Venmo, right? Use Venmo. Okay, that's one country. There's another 200 that can't. So it's actually interesting that cryptocurrency has the chance of actually other countries can pick it up and use that as their way to send money from one mobile phone to another, just like we might do with, say, Venmo. Okay? Square Cash, by the way, accepts Bitcoin and sends Bitcoin now. Square Cash does cash and Bitcoin, which is pretty cool. So I think we're going to see a lot of bang, 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 bang. We're going to see a lot of this stuff happen. It's my opinion. But let's keep going with this for a minute. There's the 24 years, right? 24 plus 2008 is 2032. What if crypto was 1%? All right, a couple more numbers and we're almost done. If crypto was 1%, remember how I showed the world growing from if it was 603 trillion, well, it's going to grow too, right? Our value of our real estate, our value of our cash, our value of our stuff is going to go up. So let's say our value of our stuff in 2032 is $800 trillion. I ran out of screen real estate. I couldn't make it. That's a lot of zeros. $800 trillion, because it's 603 today, right? Well, if cryptocurrency was 1% of it, that means it would grow to $8 trillion at 1%. We could be wrong. Cryptocurrency could be worth 5% of stuff. It could be worth 0.5% of stuff. It could be worth 0.25%. We don't know. But we're just saying, what if it was 1%? Well, if it was, some pretty interesting stuff here. And again, these are just aha moments. If cryptocurrency was worth $8 trillion and Bitcoin was 25% of cryptocurrency, it would be worth $2 trillion. How many of y'all know how many Bitcoins will there ever be in the world? Does anybody know? 21 million. Unlike gold, which we can keep digging out of the ground, unlike silver, which we can keep digging out of the ground, there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin. So by the end of 2032, the calculation is there will be 20 million plus coins. Not 20 billion, not 20 zillion, not quadrillion, 20 million. So what I want to leave you with is, what is the future of cryptocurrency? It's bright. There are a lot of utilities and reasons to use cryptocurrency. There's a lot of reasons to use blockchain. As an example, I was in a blockchain class earlier, as a matter of fact, and learned that, you know how you do wire transfers? So there's a company called Swift. Swift does all the wire transfers for all around the world. Guess what? All done on the blockchain. All done on the blockchain. I was actually surprised. So if you send money from this country to another country, it's over to blockchain. So think about the acceptance of what I'm talking about. Is blockchain going to be here forever? Yes. Is cryptocurrency going to grow like a weed? Yes. If what happened in 2032, if this happens, and 1% of the market is cryptocurrency, then Bitcoin would have a value. If any math whizzes in here, guess what? That's what one Bitcoin would be worth in 2032. Now, I'm not looking at it from an investment point of view. I'm looking at it from a math point of view. It's just math. But I also think that this shows the health of what's getting ready to happen. You say, oh, cryptocurrency is down 70%. Well, it's actually up 100 times in value from, if you look at the way email was done and the way texting is done. So I'm very excited to tell you that there's going to be a lot of applications for cryptocurrency, a lot of reasons to use it. Blockchain is apparently used to move money around the world now, right? And we don't even realize it. We go, oh yeah, we do wire transfers at work. Well, if you did them 5 years ago, it didn't use blockchain. If you do them today, it does use blockchain, like that. And more and more and more things are going to be used to protect us, really, and use cryptography where we're not using the reason Swift, by the way, went to blockchain is to cryptographically protect themselves from losses from some of the previous guys' video of the hackers. So actually, it's a good thing, and it's actually going to save us. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate your time.